we want to welcome you to today's session. This is going to be talking about Sage 300 Payroll, version 7.2, and the new payroll tiers for business care that are going to be rolling out as soon as as soon as October of this year. So just a couple of friendly reminders. We would request that you do not put your phone on hold during this session, as we will all hear your hold music. Also, if you're in a particularly noisy environment, if you could mute your phone, if there's a way that you can mute your phone, that would be really helpful to everybody on the call. There's quite a few people here today, and we want to make sure that everybody can hear the information. I've also, because so much of this information is new, I've made a lot of PowerPoint slides, and I know that you guys that have attended my sessions in the past know that I'm not a big fan of them. But for this, I really felt it was necessary to put the information in front of you so that you can also read through it. So this is all new information to us that we're going to be hearing from Sage, and I want you to also feel free to ask questions and get involved in today's webinar, because we put these on for you. And as always, if there's topics that you would like to understand and learn about in the future, please let us know by emailing Linda at tandemtechnologiesllc.com. Okay, so the first announcement that we have here is that effective December 31, 2015, Sage will only support Sage 300 Payroll version 7.2 for U.S. and Canadian payroll. Any other version of payroll will not be supported. Okay. Don't worry about running over to your computer right now and logging into Sage to see what version of payroll you're on, because 7.2 has not even come out yet. Okay? So nobody is on version 7.2 right now. So what does this mean for you, and why is this so urgent? Well, everyone on this call today will have to upgrade their Sage 300 payroll if they're going to continue to utilize Sage as their payroll provider. Sage will not be supporting payroll tax updates for any version but 7.2. So that's going to mean that we need to upgrade your Sage payroll version at a minimum. Okay? Here is our response to that Sage announcement. So we have many fall projects that we were working on and rolling out for other customers, brand new customers. All of these have now had to be put on hold to ensure that all of our payroll clients will be upgraded before December 31, 2015. We have a lot of customers, many who are not on today's call, that we will have to upgrade besides you. So we are right now trying to ascertain the number of clients that are on payroll. We are also then going to be trying to ascertain what states will have payroll tax updates so that we can get those clients done first. So if your state is not going to have an update for January 1, we may be ending up doing you after December 31. Now, if the federal government makes changes to the federal side with federal withholding tax or major calculations to Medicare or Social Security, then we have to upgrade everybody. We are not the only resellers that are trying to now grasp the urgency of this and relay it on to our customers. I do want you to know that if you're on a support plan that includes upgrades, there will not be an additional cost to your company for this upgrade. If we've already upgraded you this year, because as you know, our upgrades only include being done once per year. If you have already been upgraded this year, we will make an exception and not count this against you and charge you an additional cost for this upgrade, even though technically this is going to be costing our company money to do these upgrades at this time. We were not expecting to do this, nor we are expecting this load, and we may be having other consultants that are not part of Tandem to assist with other projects, other training, other support, just so that we can offset this workload. we will begin booking appointments for the payroll upgrade as soon as Sage releases the new payroll version. We have not been told specifically when they are going to release version 7.2. We are just as much in, the clouds as you are right now about when that's going to be released. They've said in October, but there's not been a specific date. Now, you do not have to upgrade your entire Sage, all of your modules, okay? In version 2012, which is version 7, and 2014, those will be Sage System Manager versions that will be supported by the version 7.2 payroll. So if you're already on Sage 212 or 214, we don't have to upgrade your entire system, okay? We would only need to upgrade your payroll module, so it's less of an impact. However, if you, and some of you are on version 6 of your entire system, then we have to upgrade your entire Sage 300 software to at least version 2012. And my theory is if we're going to do that, we may as well just upgrade you to whatever the newest version is that is out. Now, we are being told that Sage version 2016 will also be out in October. So what we may be doing is asking you, if you're on version 6, do you want to go to 2014 or do you want to wait until 2016 is released and then we upgrade you then, okay? So those are just some things that we want you to be aware of. There was an IRS announcement that effective for year 2015, employers with 50 or more full-time employees or a combination of part-time and full-time equivalent employees equal to 50 full-time employees, that they're subject to the employer share responsibility provisions of the ACA, which is the Affordable Care Act, for those of you that aren't familiar with that acronym. This is going to require that you as an employer report health care coverage to your full-time workers, or you would face a penalty. And each company individually has to determine if you're going to be able to file this form on your own, or if you need to file it even, and if you need to report this to your employees. So Sage made an announcement unbeknownst to us. It was a very private message on July 10th by Andrea Ainsley of Sage in a blog article on July 10th that says that Sage would be supporting the ACA reporting requirements in the release of their Sage 300 payroll, version 7.2. Okay, now this is very upsetting to us because many of you came to us and said, Karen, we have to report. We already know we're going to need the ACA reporting, and we will be required to file that. At that time, we were told by Sage that the only product out there that would be supporting that would be the Sage HRMS. So at that point in time, we immediately connected you up with the Sage HRMS. We actually got certified in Sage HRMS so that we could support customers that were having a desire to use Sage HRMS, which is the human resource management software that was actually responsible for reporting the Affordable Care Act, and specifically the forms that you needed to print the Affordable Care Act information for health care coverage, which is 1094C and 1095C. So in Sage 300 payroll, the following things will be supported now in Sage 300. So you'll be able to determine the number of hours an employee worked, determine if an employee is full or part-time, and you guys can read the screen here just as well as I can. Now, I also got an email today from Andrea Ainsley of Sage saying that she has resigned from her position. What that means is that there will be somebody that comes in and takes her place within Sage, but I think it's newsworthy that Andrea is leaving, and it's too bad. We've had a great working relationship with her in the past, and she's been a great advocate for the channel. We're sorry to see her go. we'll let you know as soon as we do who the next person is to replace her. We're waiting for an official Sage announcement instead of the email that we got from Andrea. We're here to help, and we want you to understand how you're going to be able to access the new ACA reporting that's going to be available in your Sage 300 payroll. This is going to be called My Workflow Analyzer, and I've got a screenshot here from Sage that I've taken from the beta testing program that we're involved in that will basically walk us through what the My Workflow Analyzer is going to look like for those of you using Sage 300. Coincidentally, those of you who are and went and purchased the Sage HRMS software, it's using the same tool. So they've basically, in my opinion, taken the Sage HRMS Workflow Analyzer and dropped it into the Sage 300. So these are the screens for My Workflow Analyzer, and these are screens that you will need to be looking over and filling in. And we'll go through a few of these just so that I can show them to you. So this one is the employer benefits section of the My Workflow Analyzer. You would determine what benefit plan you're going to be reporting on and selecting those here on this section here. There's regulatory periods. That's your start date for the duration for your company that you're going to be reporting. That will be filled in. Some of these things you'll understand more, and there's lots of articles out there that will be explaining how to fill these in, et cetera, as it's made known to us. So this is another screen for the employee service hours. Payroll history is another screen where it's just going to be bringing in and trying to understand what is the source of the information from My Workflow Analyzer. Then there's going to be an area here for your employees to be presented and for you to filter out and look at the data before it's being presented. There's also this analysis area. So we were previously in the setup, and then there will be an analysis where you'll be able to monitor and understand if you're going to be having to report. Okay, so for everyone attending this webinar today, I have gathered together some documents that I feel will help you understand the requirements of the ACA reporting and as it pertains to Sage 300, and also what some of the reporting requirements are that have been outlined by the IRS. If you would like to receive these documents, because I don't want to flood your inbox with documents that you don't want, please email Linda. Her email address is down here at the bottom of this slide, and let her know that you want to receive these documents. I've outlined a few of them here. This isn't all of them. I think there's 4 or 5 articles. Some of them are pretty long, like 22 pages long. I think the IRS one is the longest one, of course. But I think that these articles will help you understanding the ACA reporting and what your company needs to know about the ACA reporting that actually went into effect this year. Okay. Now, many organizations are saying, well, when do we have to report? You don't have to report until electronically March 31st, I believe. But there's also a February date that you have to report as well. And all of these documents that I have will also help you understand the dates that you have to turn things in and the dates that you have to report to your employee. Now, you're probably asking, well, Karen, since the current version of Sage 300 Payroll that I'm using doesn't have any information that would allow me to select or put in the ACA information on different fields, for instance, your healthcare fields, when you're setting up deductions or assigning those health care benefits to your employees, there's going to probably be some fields that have to be filled in. And we believe, we don't know, okay, but we believe that that's what the version 7.2 of the payroll is going to do. It's going to add those additional fields for you so that you can do this ACA reporting in Sage 300, especially when those fields aren't currently available now. So you might be asking, how do you enter all of the information? And again, I think it's just going to be information that we will be putting in after the fact and after you get upgraded to version 7.2. The product hasn't even been released to us, so we don't know what it looks like. We don't know how it's going to be filled in or what fields that you will need to fill in. We will try to help you with that. If you're getting our newsletter, look for information to be in there, and then we will most likely have another session that we will, put out to our customers probably in November or early December that would explain and go over how to fill this information in with you. We're always here to help. If you're on a support care plan with us, have no fear. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer questions without you getting charged additional. If you don't take down any other information today, this would be the only thing that I would ask you to, take note of. Now, you can go out to irs.gov and go to their search and type in the ACA, and this exact article will come up. In fact, it's the first one that comes up. But it is available, and you can go out and look at it, but this will actually explain to you in good detail what the ACA Act is about and who's responsible for reporting and why you have to report. Okay, other SAGE announcements. Effective with the SAGE 300 Payroll version 7.2, your business care will change drastically. This is a slide that was given to us by SAGE, and I've modified it with some of my things here in red, including the question marks, just because it was a little unclear. As I said to you before, this information was made known to us last Friday by SAGE. So this is going to be new to us, but what we're being told is that the business care will now be rolled out into what's called payroll tiers, and you will be paying for your payroll tax updates and your payroll subscription and your payroll module through this payroll tier. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to do our best here to explain what this means. These are the tiers at the top for the SAGE 100 and for the SAGE 100 clients. Okay, we're going to go also and talk about the Canadian tier, which is down here. We do have some Canadian clients, so I've also brought that tier up as well. But the top tier is for SAGE 100 and 300 U.S. clients. So what's going to be happening is on your business care renewal, you're going to have to tell SAGE how many employees you are calculating payroll for in a given period. So if you're calculating payroll for 1 to 15 employees, then your annual SAGE business care cost associated with the payroll services will be $1,000. The payroll tax update that you normally pay will go away, and it will be replaced by this, okay? If you're doing 16 to 30 employees, you'll pay $1,250 a year. 31 to 50, $1,750 per year, and so on and so forth. You can see the tiers here. So anything above 500 employees, you'd be paying $5,000 a year for SAGE 300 business care. So right now, all you're doing is paying business care on the SAGE 300 module that you own, okay, which is calculated depending upon what plan you're on at either silver or gold care, okay. So that part, that aspect of your business care is going to go away, and it will be replaced with this for just the payroll module. You will still be paying modularly for all of the other modules, just as you do now. But payroll will be changing, and it will be calculated separately. We do realize that this may represent a higher cost for you, and that's why we are rolling this information out to you today and not waiting. Most of you, we've quickly looked Friday night. We quickly looked to see which of our customers will be having business care due. so that we could understand who needs to be contacted if they weren't going to be attending today's call, so that we can let them know this. But most of you aren't going to be even getting a renewal until next year. However, some customers will be getting this information as soon as next month. So we felt it was urgent that this needed to be rolled out to you, even though you won't be notified of this until your business care comes due next year. So why the change in the business care calculations? Why are we going away from that? Well, Sage is implementing, they've told us that they're implementing a payroll tiered approach to ensure that their customers only pay for the employees for whom they process payroll. Now, we already know that the price of the payroll will go up. It's already gone up because your payroll tax update, I believe, was $595 a year if you weren't on the Gold Care plan. So we already know that has gone up. And so we don't quite understand why they feel that that's going to be saving money. In fact, we feel that for some customers with a large number of employees, it could be costing much more. So how will you report to Sage on how many employees you are processing payroll for? According to Sage, again, customers will be asked by Sage on their business care renewal invoice to validate how many employees they are processing payroll for, and your business care will then be calculated according to that payroll tier that I showed you earlier. A license code will then need to be entered into your Payroll 7.2 version. This is also another reason that we have to upgrade you before the end of the year, because some clients who will be put on the tier as early as October, they need to have that new 7.2 so that we can plug the new license code in so that you can process payroll for 2016. If you do not report to Sage that you are using payroll and with the correct number of employees, your payroll will be shut down 45 days after the 7.2 code is entered in. So you're going to have 45 days from the time your business care expires that you would be able to use the payroll, and then it will not work anymore. Are there any other fees associated with the transition to the payroll tiers? Yes. You will also pay an upfront fee to Sage of $2,500 that applies to new and existing U.S. payroll customers. And if you're a Canadian payroll customer, you will pay $3,125. If you are already enrolled in the payroll tax update plan, Sage is waiving that initial fee. So let's say that you're not currently using the payroll module, but you had intended to in January of this year. You will need to pay the $2,500 fee that applies to rolling out or using the Sage 300 payroll if it's not something you're currently using or you're not currently enrolled in the payroll tax update plan. If you are on the Gold Care plan with Sage Business Care, you are enrolled on the payroll tax update plan whether you're using it or not, again, so that your fee of $2,500 would be waived. If you are required or know that you're going to be required to file the 1094C or the 1095C, which is the ACA, the Affordable Care Act reporting, electronically, you will need to also enroll in the Sage Payroll Atrix tax filing program. And there are also fees associated with that. So that's not included in this new payroll tier calculation, okay? Atrix is an optional payroll tax filing program that you do not have to enroll in. But if you are required to file electronically, then you will need to enroll in that program. I don't have the fees associated with that Atrix payroll program, but you can go out to atrix.com, and they do have specific information in there for Sage 300 clients. Okay, so it's pretty easy to obtain the fee schedule. I've also discussed the Atrix payroll tax filing program in previous webinars on payroll that we've done in the past. So that's why I didn't bring it forward today. What happens if you process payroll for more employees than you're entitled to under your current payroll tier? So what this might mean is, let's say that right now you have 50 employees, but let's say by the end of the year you're expecting to have 75, and because you're going to be hiring, your business is increasing, or what have you. Sage is going to give you a 45-day grace period from the first day that you calculate over your 50 employees. So we're taking the 50 employees as the example today. So you're going to be getting a 45-day grace period, and then after that time, if you are still trying to calculate payroll for more employees than you signed up for or told Sage about, your payroll will not calculate payroll, okay? So what that would mean is that you would need to call Sage and let them know that you are increasing your employee count once you've reached your threshold, okay? Now, what happens if you process payroll for fewer employees that you're entitled to under your current payroll tier? Will you get money back? Sage will not refund any money submitted for a plan year, even if your payroll tier number goes down. Okay, I want to let you know that. So if you were on a 100 tier and you dropped to 30, they are not refunding any money. What if you have seasonal workers? So if you are a construction type company, for example, and you hire a lot of temporary or seasonal workers throughout the year, what you want to make sure you do is adjust your number when you first enroll to account for those seasonal workers, okay? Now, Sage has told us that you can adjust your tier on a monthly basis, but you will pay a higher rate to do so. I do not know what that higher rate is, and it was not mentioned in our call last week. Another announcement. The direct deposit will not be the same going forward. Currently, users are creating an EFT or an ACH file themselves, and then they will log on to their bank website, or maybe they just email the ACH file directly to their bank representative, and they process it for them. Beginning in the new payroll version, and it will be rolled out a little bit later, direct deposit going forward will be submitted by Sage through an EFT file. So you'll be submitting your EFT file to Sage, who will then handshake with your bank on your behalf. So this means you'll no longer have to key information into your bank website if that's what you were doing. And if you were paying banking fees for your ACH file to be submitted, that will now go away. Sage will be absorbing that. So there'll be some more information that comes out about direct deposit, but this is what we've been told for now. So, yes, there's still more. Effective with the new release of Sage 300 version 2016, and I wrote a blog article and put it up on our website that you can go out and read more on this, what's coming in the new version of 2016. But I do want to make a note of mention here that all clients will be required to use Microsoft SQL as their back-end database. Now, I have tried very hard to get most of you off of the pervasive.sql, which we will no longer be supporting along with Sage in this new version. We just don't have the staff anymore, and we are not sending staff to pervasive.sql training any longer to keep certifications up in that. But most importantly, Sage is discontinuing it, and they will not be allowing their product to work with pervasive.sql. So this is going to require your organization to purchase Microsoft SQL if you do not already own it. Now, we're here to help. We want you to know that you can purchase what's referred to as the Sage 300 Runtime Edition of Microsoft SQL from Tandem Technologies, LLC. We are purchasing this on your behalf through Sage because Sage is an independent software vendor for Microsoft, and they have purchased and acquired the Runtime license. So it is considerably cheaper than purchasing the full edition of Microsoft SQL. Many of you already know this, and I've already explained this to you, and some of you have already purchased it and taken advantage of that cheaper price, which we were glad to offer to you. if you are interested in getting pricing on the Runtime edition of SQL, you can feel free to, again, email Linda, and we can get some information. I actually wrote a document that explains some of the frequently asked questions, like how many licenses you will need, how many licenses you're going to be required to purchase based upon how many Sage 300 user licenses you have. So, for instance, just as one example, let's say you have a Sage 300 and you have purchased 5 Sage 300 users, but for whatever reason you're only using 3 of those Sage 300 users. Sage will enforce us to make you purchase 5 SQL licenses because that's how many Sage 300 users they show you have purchased from them. So just know that we can't get around that. Even though you might say, look, we've only got 3 people that even log in, Sage will not allow us to sell you fewer licenses than what you have Sage 300 licenses for. The other aspect here that's really important is that you will only be able to utilize the Runtime edition of Microsoft SQL with the Sage databases. Okay, so you cannot use this Runtime edition with other programs that might need Microsoft SQL as a back-end database. So let's say, for instance, you purchased a time clock solution, or you purchased a manufacturing solution that wasn't tied in any way, shape, or form to Sage 300. And lo and behold, it required Microsoft SQL as well. You would not be able to utilize it legally because that's the terms that Microsoft has with their ISVs when they license out the Runtime edition. So if you want more information on that, please feel free to contact Linda at tandemtechnologiesllc.com, or you can call us, and I'll give you those numbers at the end here. So today you're seeing Sage make changes in payroll and even have control over whether it will work or not based upon your continued payment to Sage for the payroll tiers. Based upon this strategic move with the payroll tiers and it acting more like a subscription program, it is our opinion, okay, and that's all I'm pointing out here. It's an opinion that customers may see these same changes to other modules that you own in the future, for instance, like General Ledger, Accounts Payable, Accounts Receivable. We feel that Sage may go to a complete subscription-based business care model whereby your software will not work unless you continue to pay Sage Business Care year over year. I will tell you that other software vendors are doing the same thing, so this is not exclusive to Sage. Currently, any new customers purchasing Sage 300, they can purchase Sage 300 on a subscription basis, okay, which means from month to month they're paying a flat fee. It's cheaper, and that's why they're doing it, okay? But it's definitely something that we want you to think about because if we were in your shoes, we would want to be able to make some of these decisions as well. So, again, this last part here, this is just our opinion, okay? We've not been told this by Sage, but we're seeing it. We're seeing that Sage is ramping up their customer support center. They've opened up a brand new support center in Atlanta, Georgia, to assist customers that are moving more to a subscription-type basis and want everything and all their support from Sage. So we're seeing these kind of moves slowly happening within the Sage channel, and we feel it's our responsibility to make you aware of these things as a client. Let's go on here. So you've got many choices, and let me just show you why Sage 300 Payroll is still cheaper than the competition, even with the new payroll tiers, at least for now. I mean, we always realize that prices are subject to change, and Sage may find themselves doing that again. Sage changes quite a bit. They're actually undergoing a new management change right now. So we know that change happens constantly, and there's not a lot that Tandem Technologies can do about it. Even though we've remained constant as a reseller and a dedicated partner to Sage and made very few changes ourselves with regards to offering their products over the years, and we will continue to do that. But we just feel that you need to know that Sage is changing. But comparing Sage Payroll to other providers like ADP, Paychex, and Intuit, these are some of the costs. So up here at the top, okay, this is what your business care cost in the past. So it was roughly $506, right? Didn't matter how many employees you had. Okay, so if you had 500 employees, you'd only pay $506. Now, with the new payroll tiers, if you had 500 employees, you'd be paying, in this case, this is for Sage 100, not 300, but you'd be paying $4,000 a year. And if you were using the Sage payroll services, you'd be paying $24,659 a year. Okay? Now, that's if you were using the Sage payroll services, whereas your payroll tiers are right here in the middle. So this is what you'd be paying. So instead of paying this $506 for your business care, which is your payroll tax updates, you're now going to be paying $1,000. But other payroll services like ADP, you can see their charges down here. So for up to 15 employees with ADP, you'd be paying $1,278. That's approximately $278 more than what you'd be paying if you were using Sage. Same thing. The more we go across here, we can see that the numbers go up. So if you had 500 employees or more in ADP, you'd be paying up to $14,600 a year. And you can see some of these other numbers as well. So before you run off and start checking some of these out, I wanted to bring this to your attention, just kind of show you what the competition is doing and how it compares to Sage. Now, as promised, I wanted to give you the ability to ask questions or make comments here at the end. I will read the chats that you've maybe typed in up there in the bubble, but I want you to feel free to make any comments or questions. If you would like to email someone at Sage, this is our Sage Regional Sales Manager, Robert Larsch. He's a great guy. We've been working with him for quite some time. He is who we report all of our sales to. He works with us every other week so that he can understand how to help our business succeed with Sage products. However, he is who you would need to call and or email with any questions or comments that you would wish to offer up to Sage about today. We also have some of our email addresses of the partners here, and we want you to feel free to email any or all of the partners with any questions or concerns if you don't feel comfortable going to Sage, and we will take them up for you and push them up to Rob. Okay? So I want to thank you all for coming to the session today. I am going to open it up to questions, but I'm going to go ahead at this time and turn off the recording portion.